Hey, welcome back to Harvey Capital Talk. I'm Dave Dufour here at the RVNN TV studios. We've got Sherman Goldenberg, and atypically on the phone. Well, actually, you are typically on the phone a lot, but not. You are also typically here in the studio with me, and because you've got a whole lot of catching up to do from last week's RVDA meeting, we've got you coming in remotely, at least this week. And so how the recovery has been swift? I would hope.
Oh, you mean my personal recovery? You don't mean the national economy?
I mean, no, your personal recovery from the convention is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We're in good shape here, and you know, I think our purpose here is a quick overview of some of the things we saw, you know, at the convention, and I can tell you that speakers aside, one of the more interesting things was brand meetings. Over the years, I'm not sure exactly how many years, the RVDA has built into its program a really unusual set of brand meetings, and wherein, with doors closed, manufacturers sit down with dealers, and their own dealers,
right?
And they have what we used to call back in the frat days good and welfare. They
Gotcha.
kind of let their hair down if they're lucky enough to have hair.
So they can complain, they can discuss,
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And it's something that, while it can be really annoying to hear the truth so bluntly from one's dealers, that has really kind of gotten legs. The feedback I get is that the brand meetings were very effective. Several companies, Jeff Rank at Primetime in particular, Forest River Brands, Dutchman, Keystone, others, they speak well of these brand meetings, and they become, while they don't get a lot of publicity, they become very important. Also important, equally important, is the expo, the exhibitors.
Right.
There's manufacturers, there's suppliers. Not a million of them. One good, decent-sized room full of them, and they, and it was very busy this year, and very busy. It seemed to be very effective. Corridors full, and the buffet lunch is to die for.
There you go. Well, one of the exhibitors that you spoke to is Statistical Surveys Company. They provide marketing information and customer satisfaction survey information, I think, to RV dealers, correct?
Yes. When you talk about stat surveys, you're not talking about a regular company. They're one outfit we did choose to speak with because they're a very cerebral outfit. They tally. They're a national repository for registrations for the marine industry, manufactured housing,
right,
cargo trailers, and RVs.
Yeah,
and they see the market in a way that most of us don't. And their clients are, almost universal in all those fields. Anybody with a brain, maybe I'm overstating it a bit, but anybody who really wants to know their markets, and that's dealerships, their territories, and so forth, refers to these guys. Tom Walworth and Scott Stropke, his kind of right-hand man. And they, their stats, what they see of a market is very interesting, which is really the reason their ability to give us a wider view is really the reason that we stopped to visit with them with the video cam.
All right. Well, let's take a look at that interview and see what they had to say about their business and the market in general.
We're here at the RVDA Con Expo in Las Vegas with Statistical Surveys President Tom Walworth and RV Sales Manager Scott Stropke, and talking about what they do and what are some of the trends they see in the market, and so I guess first I would ask either of you what it is that you talk to dealers about here at the show.
Well, Sherman, thank you. One of the things that we do at the show is we're introducing a new report called a dealer analysis report. And the report is the results of the lending institutions saying that we need to get higher turn rates on dealers' lots. And Dr. Curtin has said the best way to get turn rates on dealer lots, Dr. Curtin does a forecast for RVIA, in order to get better turn lots on the dealer lots is stock what sells. And that's a pretty simple thing, but it's a difficult project to dealers to have without some guidance. And that's what this report's designed to do. Certainly it's going to tell them what their competitive dealers are doing. It's going to show by manufacturer and by model what's going on. But some of the new things we have in here is the retail price. It's going to give them the best price points to stock, the best lengths to stock, and then once they have stocked the dealership properly, now they have to sell it, and they have to know what markets are moving. So the report will tell you the counties that are performing well, the cities are performing well, and also the zip codes that are performing well. Now with other tools that you bring in, you take a look at RL Polk has a name and address program that they can use. They've used our data to model it. Right now, since 2000, you cannot buy names and addresses from the state. And that's always been a great way to prospect and get people into your lots. So in lieu of that, Polk has designed a product that, using our data, they model this name and address, and they're able to go out and reach out for those people. Now these addresses can be, they can have the emails attached to it, but again, when you attach emails on a good list, you get about 30% of a list is going to have a matched email. So that means 70% of the list is not used right now. A lot of dealers just use email, and they don't use POs or the post office to be able to get out there. So that's something that is a great thing to be dovetailed with these reports. And we're seeing that the market is picking up out there. I think Scott maybe have some comments on that if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we've noticed here at the show definitely more upbeat dealer body here than the last few years. And just for statistical surveys, we've picked up a good number of dealers that dropped our reports a few years ago when the market was a little softer, that now are coming back and picking up our reports, and they're saying, man, we dropped your product 2 years ago, but we really need it now. So that really shows us that if these dealers are purchasing our product, that probably means they're spending money elsewhere as well. So we're happy to see that, not only for statistical surveys bottom line, but hopefully that's a good sign for the whole industry.
Inventory levels are something that your statistics tend to shed some light on. What are you seeing there, as it relates to the rest of 2011 and into 2012?
Well, we compare the retail numbers from stat surveys and bounce them against the RVI wholesale numbers, and we see, comparing last year to this year, about 1,000 less units on dealers' lots. So dealers are definitely not stuffed with inventory as they were a few years ago, and talking to manufacturers, they realize that as well. So we're hoping that means there's a robust wholesale buy here in the next few months with Louisville coming up.
With that, why don't you do a little bit of a sign-off telling people how to, contact you, and then we'll say bye-bye.
All right, statistical surveys, we're at www.statisticalsurveys.com. Statistical surveys is plural. If you cannot pick it up that way, you can always contact us by phone, 616-281-9898, extension 128. And we'll be glad to take care of you. We'll be send you out samples, anything we can do to make you more comfortable, and making decisions for your product line we're there for you. So thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
We'll be back in just a moment with more from the RVDA convention and expo when we come back on RV Capital Talk. So don't go away. For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to RVNN.tv.